Welcome to our channel. Today we'll be discussing about our own generated form. It is sales inventory form, which is an automated form that aims to help entrepreneurs to monitor and facilitate the sales and inventory management of their business. In this form, we use cell phone shop as our business example to project our ideas regarding sales and inventory management. Hi, let's get it! First, let's talk about the sales transaction. When we say sales transaction, it is a transaction or series of related transactions involving a sale of all substantially assets of a business. This form consists of product number, brand, model, cashier, unit price, sold quantity, sales value, sales status, and lastly, restocking status. In this form, we're gonna search the record by its product number. Then, once we already input the as data, everything shall be automatically displayed. We have used data validation on cell D8 so that we can select between purchase transaction and sales transaction. The form will change its input labels once we specify the transaction type. Say for instance, we select purchase transaction. You'll see that instead of cashier, the form asked for supplier's name. Same goes with the sales quantity, sales value, and sales status, which has been modified into quantity on hand, inventory value, and inventory status accordingly. Now, let's see our database. Our database is a worksheet consisting of data we want to appear on our form. It consists of product number, brand, model, unit price, cashier, and supplier that we'll use to match on the form. Okay, now, while we take a look on our database, let me clarify to you that the changes you'll see when we select the transaction type is because of the applied condition. We use an if function that will check whether the argument is true or false. On our example, we use the argument if cell D8 is equals to sales transaction. If value is true, the form will display sales transaction, but if value is false, it will display purchase transaction. And the same condition is been applied to other input labels such as cashier and supplier.
Now, let's move back to our form. Let's input product, which is 100,003. Okay, then hit enter. And there you have it. The records on our database has now appeared in our form. And as you can see, sales quantity is empty cell, so that we can input any number we desired to input as quantity value. In our example, we input 45. Then, the sales value become 404,550 pesos from the zero value. It is because sales value is the product of unit price and sales quantity. Once we input sales quantity, then it automatically calculates the product of the two cells. Moving on, sales status is where we can see whether the product is still available or not. Hence, we use the if condition. If cell K17, which is sales value, is less than or equal to 0, display sold out, otherwise display available. Restocking status or the reordering status refers to the supply of products present at a given period. Here, we also use if condition. That if cell K15, which is sales quantity, is less than or equal to 50, form will display restock, which means that there is no enough stock of the product even though it is still available. Otherwise, display available when sales quantity is greater than 50. Let's jump into purchase transaction. Just like we have said earlier, when we select purchase transaction, some of the input label will change. But first, let's identify what is purchase transaction. Purchase transaction is a purchase or a list of goods and services using an account to the supplier. Just like the definition, when we click purchase transaction, cashier has been modified into supplier. Sales quantity to quantity on hands, sales value to inventory value, and sales status to inventory status, respectively. To show your purchase transaction is functioning, let's input the same product number, then enter. As you can see, some records have been also modified as well as the supplier. It also have different value compared to cashier, which is the supplier's name this time. We're going to input quantity on hand and the condition on sales transaction we will be also applied here at the purchase transaction. It will just have different input label but the arguments as well as the condition are still the same. And as the video progress and demonstrate how the purchase transaction work, we just wanted to add that we include if error function so that the cell will remain empty unless we already input the product number. We also want to add that we use index and match function for most formulas to match the record for the databases to sales inventory form. And that's all for today's guys.
Hope you enjoy watching our video. Thank you and peace!